Hello everyone, welcome to the platform of I Can Accomplish. I am Bineeta Das, the special educator, having 7 years of experience in this field. I welcome you all in the video series section of I Can Accomplish, where we'll be discussing various types of disabilities and disorders. This week, we'll be discussing about learning disability. Before starting our discussion, at first, let's listen to the story of a boy named Akash. Hi, I am Akash. I was diagnosed with a learning disability in first grade, and every day for 10 years after I struggled in every way imaginable. I was scared, hurt, angry, and defiant. Apparently, there was only one way to teach and one way to learn. That's what I was told because I didn't conform to standards, plopped when the label and down when the image and ahead of myself. It wasn't my difficulty with learning that dragged me down. It was the label, the treatment, the role of someone who is broken. Once that seed was planted, it spread to every corner and took root so deeply that a decade passed before it was stripped down. To be honest, part of it remains. My schoolwork suffered, my relationships with teachers and friends suffered, and my mental and emotional states more than suffered, they were devastated. I'd accepted the label of stupid, and I wore it around my neck like a 2-ton weight, dragging it with me everywhere I went. After listening to this story, what image is created in your mind about this boy Akash? Yes, you must be feeling very sorry for him. You must be thinking, poor fellow, how his self-esteem is belittled throughout his learning life, isn't it? It's clear why self-esteem and confidence play such a large role in children as well as teens' life. But there is always a way out. It is very important to discover inside themselves the strength and determination to turn a so-called learning disability into a life-changing advantage. There are many ways to teach, many ways to learn. If your child doesn't fit the mold of one, don't worry, there are many other ways for them to shine. Hearing that your child is different is never easy, but different is not disabled. By taking a leading role in your child's development and helping them tell a new story, you can avoid the damage of the label and replace it with the strength and confidence to turn a challenge into a life-changing advantage. So, before moving forward, we should know what is a learning disability. A learning disability is a neurological disorder. In simple terms, a learning disability results from a difference in the way a person's brain is wired, and this difference affects how they receive and process information. Children with learning disabilities are as smart or smarter than their peers, but they may have difficulty reading, writing, spelling, reasoning, recalling, and or organizing information if left to figure things out by themselves or if taught in conventional ways. Learning disabilities or learning disorders are umbrella terms for a wide variety of learning problems. A learning disability is not a problem with intelligence or motivation, and kids with learning disabilities aren't lazy or dumb. In fact, most are just as smart as everyone else. As I said, the brains are simply wired differently. Simply put, children and adults with learning disabilities see, hear, and understand things differently. This can lead to trouble and learning new information and skills and putting them to use. While every kid has trouble with homework from time to time, if a certain area of learning is consistently problematic, it might indicate a learning disorder. What are the common disabilities associated with learning disability? There are many common disabilities associated with learning disability, like dyslexia, ADHD, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, and processing deficits. A few examples will make the concept more clear. First, we are going to talk about dyslexia. The children with dyslexia may learn to spell a word and completely forget the next day. If a word has more than 2 syllables, processing the sounds can become much more challenging for them. For example, in the word unfortunately, a person with dyslexia may be able to process the sounds un and li, but not those in between. It is a learning disorder that impedes the student's ability to read and comprehend a text. Some people struggle with phonemic awareness, which means they fail to recognize the way words break down according to sound. Similar problems can occur with phonological processing, wherein students cannot distinguish between similar word sounds. Other issues relate generally to fluency, spelling, comprehension, and more. Students may experience one reading issue or multiple issues when struggling with dyslexia. Dyslexia is perhaps the best known learning disability. The second one is ADHD, that is Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. A common sign of ADHD is what looks like an inability to recognize other people's needs and desires. There are some common behaviors which are seen in an ADHD child or an adult, like they must be interrupting, they find it difficult to wait for their turn. There are few emotional turmoil, fidgeting, problems playing quietly, they might end up with unfinished tasks, lack of focus on any task provided to them. Students who have ADHD have difficulty paying attention and staying on task. These students can be easily distracted and often have difficulty in traditional school settings. Unlike typical learning disabilities, which need instructional interventions, ADHD can be successfully treated with medications and behavioral therapies. The third one in the list is dyscalculia. There are few common signs which help us to identify dyscalculia in children and adults, like they find trouble in grasping the meaning of quantities or concepts like biggest to smallest. Understanding that the numeral 5 is the same as the word 5 and that these both mean 5 items. Remembering math facts in school like timetables, counting money, or making change and estimating time. Math is another major area of concern when it comes to learning disabilities, while difficulty with reading can affect students' ability in maths. Some students also suffer from dyscalculia, which is a disorder that specifically affects one's math capabilities. Next one is dysgraphia. While reading disabilities receive the most attention, writing disabilities can be equally difficult to overcome. Children with dysgraphia have trouble organizing thoughts and putting them into writing. They have unreadable handwriting, slow labored writing, odd spacing of words and letters, poor spelling and grammar, struggle with basic sentence structure, trouble with grasping a pencil correctly, and their posture may be tense while trying to write. Poor punctuation skills, run on sentences and lack of paragraph breaks. Students have trouble organizing their thoughts coherently. Dysgraphia can be related to the physical act of writing. And the last one in the list is processing deficits. There are various other deficits which arise from learning disabilities like auditory sequencing, auditory memory, visual sequencing, visual memory, visual motor integration, auditory discrimination, spatial orientation, expressive language, receptive language, and organization. These deficits are known as processing deficits. Few examples will make the concept more clear. The students with learning disabilities often lose materials, reach late in class, unorganized homework, difficulty judging time, unfinished work, difficulty expressing themselves, trouble hearing sounds over background noises, problems in using separate answer sheets, difficulty remembering what was seen, etc. etc. When students have a processing deficits, they have trouble making sense of sensory data. These 5 learning disabilities can manifest with varying degrees of severity, and some students may struggle with more than one. By understanding these disabilities, it is possible to find workable solutions so that every student can succeed in the classroom. With this note, we are ending our discussion, but promise you all to bring more awareness and facts about the topic. So stay tuned until we meet again. Don't forget to press the like button and to subscribe for our channel I Can Accomplish. Also visit our website www.icanaccomplish.com to know more about who are and what we do. Don't forget to click on the library section to see some interesting videos. So I am Bineeta saying bye-bye to all the viewers. See you soon.